I actually did something pretty crazy. Anybody who wants this book, I just need you to comment book below. We're not only going to give you the $30 book, but he gives you these books, but then there's like $10 shipping. We're actually going to cover the shipping as well. So what I am going to do today is a little bit different than our live Q&A. I actually did something pretty crazy. So we've got over 1,000 of Alex Hormozi's newest book, Money Models. And so for us, since we did this, we're like, well, what the heck do I do with 1,000 books? Because outside of making like a bed out of it or like chairs, I don't really need more than one. And so for those of you that don't know, Alex Hormozi just had his book launch yesterday, and they actually broke the Guinness Book of World Records for the most amount of books sold in the first 24 hours, and it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. I think it took them 9 hours to officially break the record. So all that to be said is like very, very impactful book that, at least based off of the first two, we assume that the next one's going to be good. But a lot of people also don't maybe know who Alex is or why this is even important to you. So of course, this is for my physical therapy clinic owners, because that's who we eat, sleep, and breathe. And so for us, I always have a little bit of a little place in my heart for Alex, because most people don't realize this. About 6 years ago, back when he had Alan, which was a lead nurturing software, they also did coaching along with this. And so it was about 6 years ago or so when I hopped on a call with Alex, and that was when I was still going through school, finishing up kind of right at the tail end there. And I was considering, like, should I be a PT or should I not? And when I was talking to him, he's just like, well, how much longer do you got? And I was just like, I'm done in like 6 months. I don't remember how long it was at that point, but like super, super short, like maybe 9 months. And he's like, crap. He's like, because if it was longer, he would have just told me just drop out. He's like, but it makes sense for you to finish, so that way you kind of can resonate with your audience, you know their stuff, you can kind of talk to everything like that. And so for him though, like he was the first one that really was like, you should really go all in on this marketing thing. And so I think he was one of the few that actually kind of inherently understood it, because even family, they kind of are like, oh my God, here we go, another career change, because I was a dental hygienist before going to PT school. And he was one that had kind of thrown away a traditionally what would be considered a good career to try something else. And so, of course, I was then coached by him for about a year or so with Alan. And then we've spent a day, 20 grand going out to a workshop with him. We've spent $55,000 for a one day where they literally break down our entire business and everything like that. Now you can't even do that one day. It's actually just with his team and not with him. And so realistically, all that to be said is I've got a big place in my heart for Alex, but also I just know that there's a lot of physical therapy clinic owners that could learn a lot from him. But also the hard part about that though, is it's not always 100% applicable for physical therapy. If you're a PT clinic owner, there's typically only 3 things that are potentially going wrong in your business. It seems like maybe 5,000 things are actually going wrong, but it really kind of distills down to 3. So you either need more new patients, you need more profit, or you need more PTs inside your clinic. Sometimes you have more than one of those, but it's only those 3. And so what we really have looked at over the years with working with over hundreds of clinics, having multiple people go from startup to out of treatment or to one clinic to multi, all the way to our biggest having 11 clinics, we know exactly what works and what doesn't. And so what we do is marketing, coaching, and hiring for physical therapy clinics. And so what we used to do was, hey, we have this money back guarantee, work with us. If you're not happy, no harm, no foul. We realized, though, realistically, no one was really asking for their money back. So we said, well, if our goal is to help as many people as possible, why are we putting friction in the process? So we said, okay, let's flip this on its head instead, because realistically, a lot of the reasons that people need to start with us is because they don't have money. So we said, let's do a 28-day free trial instead. Instead of you worrying, will this work? It's like, well, let's just try it out. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul. You didn't actually risk any money. If you're tired of seeing my bald head by the time we're done, no worries. It doesn't matter. But you'll be able to at least go on a date before we get married, know if it works for you. So if that sounds interesting and you want to learn more how we can specifically work with you, just click the link in the description and sign up to talk to one of our growth specialists. And so what we want to kind of do is, one, anybody who wants this book, I just need you to comment book below. We're not only going to give you the $30 book, but he gives you these books, but then there's like $10 shipping. We're actually going to cover the shipping as well. So $40 effectively to anybody who just comments book below, and we're going to go ahead and send it to you. So that way you're good to go on that. You don't have to come out of pocket for any of that. But that's also going to put you on our kind of new little like secret list of people where we're going to be sharing the insights from everything that we're learning. Because to get 1,000 books, effectively what we did is we signed up for a 6-month mastermind with him. And so that's allowing us to be able to ask questions directly to him, his advisory board, all of those type things. And so we're just going to be able to kind of diffuse that information to y'all, so you don't have to drop an extra $24,000, to make it just a lot easier for y'all to get your questions answered. But again, we're also going to be able to distill that stuff down to make sense for physical therapy. Because I love my boy Alex to death, but I mean, if you saw him break down the chiro, he's like recommending to do stuff that is very not kosher with insurance and some of those things. So he knows business, he knows sales, he knows that, but doesn't necessarily know the in and outs of the insurance side or some of the legalities of that stuff, compliance, and all that. And that's why you kind of have like us, who is the one that's in the trenches. We're in over 400 clinics around the nation, and we can try out all these type things over the years and continue to iterate and implement. So that way you're not trying it out. It's a whole like N=1. You're like, maybe this worked, maybe it was just my area, any of that type stuff. But to add on top of that, most people also don't realize like we're kind of like mastermind junkies. So we're actually being coached by one of his old coaches, who also coached Dan Martell, Ryan Deiss, who's the owner of digitalmarketer.com. And so we just signed up for them this last week as well. And so we're working with them. Another mastermind that we're in right now. And again, this isn't to say, oh my God, look at all the masterminds Joey's in. It's more so, I know that you don't necessarily have access to like, I think we're at over 10 grand in masterminds right now a month. And so realistically, most people can't afford that. And so one of them that we're in is actually from the person who actually helped put together that entire kind of presentation and what he did for selling live. So you're like, well, what does that matter for me, Joey? It's like, well, if you do workshops, it's probably pretty important that you effectively know how to sell from stage. So between that and a $55,000 mastermind from someone else, that's how we actually distilled down our entire workshop process for people to sell. And that's how we'll have people go from 20% to like 60 to 80% on closing with their workshops. And so we've also diffused that down for sales. I've been teaching the process that Alex taught for high ticket weight loss for like 6 years now. And then we just continued to iterate on that over and over and over across thousands and thousands of patients. And that's really how our guys are able to sell such high ticket stuff. Like we had someone who had been working with one of the like gurus, I guess, in the space, and they were doing like $25,000 a month, $20,000 to $25,000 a month for almost 5 years straight. And they joined us within the first month, changed how they sold their packages, and they hit 64,000 in the very first month. And of course, FTC guidelines would tell me that is not typical results. You can't do that. Your inputs are different, blah, 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 blah. So that is not an earnings claim. So I'm just telling you, this stuff works. And so it works because we're talking and working with the best of the best. Like, he is the GOAT when it comes to sales. Like, a lot of people think Alex is the GOAT, but Alex learned from someone, and we are learning from that someone. And so that's other people that we're going to be sharing insights from. So we always want to share these insights. We want to be able to give you all those nuggets, but we also want to make sure it's applicable to y'all, because some of the stuff in the money models may not make sense if you're insurance. Some of it will with cash, some of it will with the back end wellness. And so we'll be able to kind of work through all those things, but also kind of just give you exposure to even just what we're seeing across 400 clinics of what's working, what's not, and just help y'all out as much as possible. And of course, if you're like, hey, I already bought a book, well, do you know another owner who effectively would probably need a book? Go ahead and tag them below as well. So that way we can at least help out someone else. Or if you just want a second one, it doesn't matter. We got 1,000. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with 1,000 books. Otherwise, as I said, I may just make this chair right here out of them and just make an Alex throne. But again, for all of these, if you're interested, just comment book below, and I'll just shoot you over a message so that way I can just get your information to send it over to you. And then we're just going to be sharing the insights so that way you don't have to continue to try to pay for those insights, distill them down, and we can just help y'all out as much as possible. All right, bye guys.